We now move on to our final round. Manifesto, budget, policy and ideology. I would like to invite Chong Zimin to give a 3-minute fact presentation.
I want to rebut Mr. Shen just now saying, if you give the vote to BN because they make some changes, I want to tell you that if today you give your vote back to BN because there's more changes, you are going back to the good old days. They will try to stop democracy. They will try to curb media freedom. In terms of manifesto, let's talk about the first report that came out after BN unveiled the manifesto. Came from Bloomberg. What Bloomberg say? Najib unveils poll manifesto similar to Anwar. Not what I say. Bloomberg from USA. And Muhyiddin say that it's Pakatan who copy us. He think that we are so stupid. Pakatan unveiled the manifesto 25th of February. BN on 6th of April. How can we copy them? Do we have a crystal ball, predict what they have, and then we come back, copy them? Take one very simple example. When Rafizi asked this, say that we want to abolish excise duty, sales duty on cars. What were the BN leaders' reaction? Tan Sri Muhammad Yaakob said, country will bankrupt. Ismail Sabri Yaakob said, it's not practical. Mukri said, it's confusing. Tajuddin Abdul Rahman said, it's not rational. And out of nowhere, suddenly Najib said, we want to reduce car prices by 30%. But we have no problem. Good policy deserves to be copied. You want to copy, you copy in full. But BN can only copy halfway. They cannot copy in full. Why? Take the car prices, for example. Pakistan say we reduce car prices 50%. BN say we reduce only 30%. Why cannot 50%? Where does the 20% goes? Goes into someone else's pocket. I help you, you help me. Talk about minimum wage. Pakistan say 1,100. They copy us. They say 900. Taxi permit. We say we issue taxi permit directly to individuals. They say we issue 1,000 individual permits. For schools, we say we have a fair allocation to all type of school. They say that we allocate school based on our election needs. Pakistan say we recognize UEC without any condition. BN says that we consider to recognize UEC. On ideology, again as I say, BN depends on the idea of divide and rule. But Pakistan Rakyat wants to transcend across races. We want to show to Malaysia that a Chinese leader or Malay leader can take care of all races. You do not need a Chinese to take care of Chinese, Malay to take care of Malay, and Indian to take care of Malay. And this is the new Malaysia ideology that we want to look beyond. Again, BN propagate Ketuhanan Melayu, and this is not true. This is just a cover for them to try to benefit for their UMNO Putra.
Chong Zimin, you're now invited to question Chen Yon for 1 minute.
15 years of budget deficit, consecutive year, since Anwar Ibrahim was the Deputy Prime Minister. And we have a historical national debt, ballooned to 2 times since the last 5 years. I want to know how BN is going to finance their manifesto. Where will the money come from?
Oh, this is a very interesting question. Because this is a question I'm supposed to ask him. BN under Najib earning more than 200 billion revenue a year. That is BN under Najib. And don't talk about deficit, but in your PR manifesto, PR 2013 budget, they also did claim that, I never manipulate, there are deficits in PR if PR were to come over. PR budget 2013, go and read. So if your budget also got deficit, why talk only about BN? This is very hypocrite. And PR is the last person on earth should ever talk about manifesto when only 15 of their 208 promises is being delivered, not only reported by us, also reported by the economics. Come on, that means out of 10 things they promise, they only can deliver 1.5. And Selangor MB said, manifesto is not a promises. And copy who lah. Most important is who deliver it. I copy you, so what? So PR can only like this one lah. But cannot do. BN are the one who deliver. That is why it's so worse. 15% only deliver. Hello, since when Pakatan said reduce price by 50%, read properly, 20 by 30. That's number one. Number two, you talk about school allocation. Just now they not answer. Now I want to simply talk. I said, BN give 100 million to Tamil school, to Chinese school. Why only Pakatan Rakyat 55 million? Until now you cannot answer. I want to talk about their manifesto. Then suddenly talk about what manifesto ideology is for all. This is our Prime Minister lah. One Malaysia Prime Minister for Chinese, Indian, Malay, Kadazan, Bidayuh, and all Malaysian. And if they are truly multiracial, I challenge Lim Kit Siang and Lim Guan Eng to contest in Malay majority area. So overall, what credibility Pakatan Rakyat have to talk about the manifesto when they fail to deliver? Only 50% they can achieve, and they have to talk about who copy who. Hello, it's who deliver it. At the end of the day, it's not about talk. It's about who work like Kung Fu Panda.
I'd now like to calm down, okay. I'd now like to invite Shen to a 3-minute fact presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do not need to gamble 5 years to know who is the better government, because the budget, the manifesto, and the buku jingle is the reflection of what you are going to happen 5 years from now, because that is their promises. That is what they say they are going to do. Alright? And let me tell you about their manifesto. This is real, you can go back and check. Why under Prime Minister BN manifesto, we allocate for all rumah ibadat, but their manifesto, which I just quoted page 32 or 37 just now, is only for Islam. Other Christian, Hindu, Buddhist are not being acknowledged by Pakatan Rakyat. Number two, we're talking about vernacular school in the manifesto. This is not even BN manifesto because we already deliver. They can only talk 100 million versus 55 million. Number three, this is a very interesting fact. I'm not manipulating. Go back and read. I'm being very fair. Go and read PR manifesto. They want to increase job opportunity by 1 million by reducing the foreign cheap labor. Hello. You want our Malaysian, Chinese, Malay, Indian to work as coolie in the construction, in the plantation? This is your economic policy? While Prime Minister promises 1 million new or 3 million new job for Malaysian is high income job. This is how much Pakatan Rakyat want the rakyat to continue to suffer. And number four, you analyze their women fund. Our BN women fund is for all types of women, whether it's housewife, single mothers, alright, and also entrepreneur women. Their women's fund, I never manipulate, check properly. It's only for women which are housewife. What about other women which are not housewife? And number five, why are the allocations for the Indian and also Chinese? They said they want to abolish race-based. Go and check their manifesto. If they really want to abolish race-based, why do they have factual allocation for the Malay Felda and also the Orang Asli, but zero for Indians and also Chinese special allocation, which BN latest manifesto do have for the rakyat? So are they really race-based, or we are the one who are being race-based? Alright, next we talk about youth. Why are there no allocation for youth in PR manifesto? Most to most is to abolish PTPTN. Let me tell you, Anwar was the one who founded PTPTN, and now he wants to abolish it. So what are they talking about? What credibility are they talking about? And overall, do not believe them. They claim they want to reduce oil price. Hello, any economics in the world will know. If they really want to reduce the oil price, why in the budget 2013 I never manipulate? Anwar or Pakatan Rakyat never mentioned oil price will be reduced in PR budget 2013. Ini want to tipu rakyat sekali lagi kah?
Shen, you may now proceed to a 1-minute questioning of Chong Zimin.
If out of 10 promises only 1.5 can deliver, if when you fail to deliver you said manifesto is not a promises, so do you think that you still want the rakyat to trust your manifesto, promises, jingle and budget that can be the benchmark that Pakatan Rakyat are worth it to be worked for?
Chong Zimin, please proceed.
55 years in Merdeka, we have trusted BN. We voted BN into power, and where are we now? We are at the brink of bankruptcy. Our national debt, 2 times higher. Deficit budget, 15 times consecutive years since Anwar Ibrahim was the Deputy Prime Minister. And I want to invite Mr. Shen to my class on Monday, because he cannot understand the idea of revenue, expenses, and the deficit budget. I asked the question, how is BN going to finance the manifesto? He said, I got so much revenue. But you are deficit budget, expenses more than revenue. Where the money comes from? Cannot answer. And it's not that me that say Malaysia is going to go bankrupt. Idris Jala, Minister of Prime Minister Department, openly say that if Malaysia is to continue with the subsidy by 2019, Malaysia will get bankrupt. This is 2013. We vote today, we give a 5 years mandate to the new government. If we vote the wrong government, Malaysia is going to be at the brink of bankruptcy, and there's no other way for us to come back. So think carefully while we vote. And he asked, where does the money comes from? I already said, in Pakatan Rakyat, we will eradicate corruption. Every year, government procurement, that means the amount of money that government spend to buy goods, is 206 billion annual procurement. If we try to have a clean government, we can get a 25% dividend from this government. We can save 25% as dividend. And this is amount to 51 billion in saving. More than 46 billion that we need to implement the Pakatan Rakyat Manifesto. More than enough. If you do not steal any money, there is money for all Malaysians. And he keeps saying, asking Lim Kee Siang, Lim Guan Eng to contest in Malay area. Please, your own President Chua Sui Leh also cannot contest, because Najib said you cannot contest. So who are you to say that Lim Kee Siang needs to contest where? And you keep saying that school allocation we give 100 million, 50 million, 40 million. A lot, I know. But this is absolute figure. Let's look at percentage, okay? Be fair. Look at relative figure. I already say, national school 75% of students, Chinese school 21% of students, Tamil school 3.2% of students. But in terms of allocation, national school gets 95.1%. Chinese school only gets 3.6%. 100 million is only 3.6%. Tamil school even less, 1.3%. Is this a fair allocation? We want to allocate funds to school based on needs. There's a need, we give money. It's education, it's for our future generation.